Welcome to another deep dive.
Oh, exciting.
This time we're diving into a book called La salvezza del Bello.
La salvezza del Bello. Okay.
It's by Byung-Chul Han.
I've heard of him, yeah. Okay.
And in this book, Han argues that in a world obsessed with like perfect, like Instagram selfies and one-click shopping,
Yeah.
that true beauty, the kind that really moves us and changes us, is getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And he calls this the age of smoothness.
Smoothness. Interesting.
Yeah, and you shared this book because you really want to get to the bottom of that. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. I'm fascinated by this idea.
Yeah, what are we losing in this pursuit of frictionless living?
Right. Like, is everything just supposed to be easy and shiny and perfect all the time? Like, what happens to the rough edges?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Han's argument really kind of like captures something that I think a lot of us are feeling these days. We swipe left on dating apps, on people's imperfections. We curate our online lives to be like totally picture perfect.
Right.
It's almost like we're afraid of anything that kind of like disrupts that polished surface,
Yeah, totally. Like we can't handle a crack in the screen.
Yeah.
Literally or metaphorically.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Han, he uses this really great example. He talks about the LG Flex phone, which actually has a self-healing screen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so no scratches, no dents.
Always perfect.
Always perfect. It's designed to be perpetually smooth.
That's wild. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, right? Like it's kind of the ultimate embodiment of the smoothness idea.
Yeah.
But is it really, I don't know, is it really authentic?
Right.
Is that what we really want?
Yeah, and it's not even just about phones.
Right.
It's about a whole way of experiencing the world.
Yeah.
He argues that this smoothness extends to, like, how we communicate, how we consume art, even how we relate to each other.
Right.
Like, everything needs to be easy and pleasant.
Yeah.
And instantly gratifying.
Exactly. Like, we don't want to have to work for anything. We don't want to have to wait for anything.
Right.
We want it all right now, and we want it to be perfect.
So are we saying that, like, liking a post on Instagram without really, like, reading the caption or engaging with it is part of this smoothness problem?
Absolutely. I think Han would say that that's a perfect example of how this smoothness is kind of seeping into every aspect of our lives, and he worries, and I think rightfully so, that this desire for these like frictionless experiences is making us less willing to grapple with difficult ideas, to confront things that challenge us, that make us uncomfortable. Even beauty, he argues.
Yeah, beauty suffers in this kind of environment.
Exactly.
And this is where Jeff Koons comes in, right?
Yeah.
He uses Jeff Koons as this, as an example of this smoothness in art.
Right. So Han's point is that while Koons' work might initially evoke, like a wow, like a sense of spectacle,
Yeah.
it lacks the depth and the mystery of true beauty.
Okay. So let's break that down.
Okay.
So take his famous balloon animal sculptures.
Oh, right.
So they're shiny.
Shiny, flawless.
Almost too perfect.
Almost too perfect, yeah. It's like, you look at them and you're like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
But then what?
Yeah.
Like, is there anything more to it?
Yeah. So it's like it's aesthetically pleasing.
Okay, yeah.
But there's nothing really there to like challenge us or make us think.
Exactly. Han would say that Koons' art is all surface and no substance. It's reflecting our own desires back at us rather than forcing us to encounter something truly other.
Okay. I see where he's going with this. But doesn't that mean like beauty is subjective, right?
Well, yeah, that's a good question.
What I find beautiful, someone else might find boring or even ugly.
Right. And that's where Han brings in another philosopher, Hegel.
Okay.
And Hegel had a very different view of beauty.
Okay.
He didn't see it as just personal preference.
Okay.
He believed that beauty is a manifestation of the idea, like a glimpse into the very essence of things.
So it's not just about like what looks pretty?
No.
It's about something deeper.
It's about something much deeper.
Okay.
For Hegel, experiencing beauty was about connecting with a truth that's bigger than ourselves.
Okay.
He believed it could give us a glimpse into the interconnectedness of everything, what he called the concept.
Wow, the concept. That's
Yeah.
pretty heady stuff.
Yeah.
But hold on, isn't that a bit, like, overwhelming? Well,
Like, if everything is part of this grand concept,
yeah.
doesn't that diminish the importance of like individual things,
Right.
like individual people?
That's a question a lot of people have about Hegel.
Yeah.
But he actually believed that it's through understanding our connection to the whole
Mm-hmm.
that we can truly grasp the significance of the individual parts.
Huh.
It's like, each note in a symphony, it only gains its full meaning in relation to the entire composition.
Okay. Okay. So how does this relate back to Han's argument about beauty in the digital age?
Well, think about how we typically consume images and information online, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
fast-paced,
Mm-hmm.
it's fragmented,
Mm-hmm.
and often very superficial.
Yeah.
We're scrolling through these endless feeds
Mm-hmm.
without really pausing to contemplate or to really connect with anything deeply.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Han worries that this constant bombardment of smooth,
Mm-hmm.
easily digestible content.
Yeah. Is making it harder to experience the kind of profound beauty that Hegel describes.
So are we losing the ability to see beauty
I think it's a real possibility.
because we're too busy liking and sharing?
Yeah. And what's even more fascinating is how Han connects this to another intriguing idea,
Okay.
the erotics of veiling.
The erotics of veiling.
Yeah. He argues that true beauty, it needs a sense of mystery, a sense of concealment to be truly captivating.
It's like that saying, familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah, it's beauty.
Maybe too much exposure
Right.
actually diminishes beauty.
I think that's exactly what Han is getting at.
Yeah.
And he draws on the work of Roland Barthes,
Okay.
who analyzed the Citroën DS car,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which had this very sleek,
Yeah.
alluring design,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't completely transparent. There were still elements of the unknown,
Yeah.
details that were partially hidden.
Okay, I see what you mean, yeah.
And Barthes argued that this made it even more desirable.
Right.
He called it erotic.
Okay.
That sense of wanting to discover what lies beneath the surface.
Yeah.
And he contrasted this with what he called pornographic,
Okay.
where everything is laid bare,
Yeah.
leaving nothing to the imagination.
So a little mystery goes a long way.
I think so, yeah.
Like in a good novel
Right.
or a piece of art.
Yeah.
Like a hint, a suggestion
Mm.
can be more powerful than just showing everything explicitly.
Exactly. And Han's point is that this erotics of veiling,
Mm-hmm.
this is disappearing in our digital age.
Right.
Everything is instantly accessible, instantly knowable.
Yeah, yeah.
We've lost that sense of wonder,
Right.
that desire to uncover what's hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And with it, we may be losing a crucial dimension of beauty.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But Han also goes beyond just the individual experience of beauty, right?
Yes, yeah.
He talks about the political implications as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's get into that.
Okay, so he reminds us that for ancient philosophers,
Mm-hmm.
like Aristotle, the very concept of a free person was someone who had the leisure to appreciate beauty,
Okay.
to engage in ethical action,
Mm-hmm.
and to pursue knowledge,
Right.
all things that go beyond mere survival.
So beauty was actually connected to, like, being a good citizen.
That's right.
Wow.
And this raises the idea of a politics of beauty,
Okay.
which Han explores through the work of Elaine Scarry.
Elaine Scarry, okay.
She argues that experiencing beauty can actually enhance our sense of justice,
Wow.
our ability to act ethically.
Okay.
It's a pretty radical idea.
Yeah, so like looking at a beautiful painting or listening to like a beautiful piece of music can actually make us better people.
That's what Scarry suggests, yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating.
She sees a connection between the fairness and harmony that we perceive in beautiful things
Mhm.
and the fairness and harmony that we strive for in our relationships
Mhm.
and in our societies.
Mhm.
So it's this idea that beauty can actually inspire us to create a more just and beautiful world.
That's a fascinating idea. But Han also brings in a contrasting viewpoint, right?
Yes.
Someone who saw beauty and politics in a very, very different way.
Right.
Who was that?
That would be Carl Schmitt,
Carl Schmitt.
a political theorist who believed that strong boundaries and a clearly defined enemy
Okay.
were essential for political order.
Okay.
Well, and this ties back to our discussion of smoothness, actually.
Okay, so.
Well, because Schmidt would argue that all this boundary blurring
Okay, yeah.
in the digital world,
Mm-hmm.
makes it harder to establish the kind of clear distinctions that he saw as necessary for a strong political order.
Okay, yeah. So for Schmidt, the lack of friction, the constant flow of information and perspectives online, it might actually be detrimental to a functioning political order.
Exactly, yeah. He was very much in favor of clear boundaries, clear hierarchies, and he saw this kind of like, this smoothness, this blurring of everything as a potential threat.
So we've got Scary, who sees beauty as promoting justice.
Right.
And harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Schmidt, who sees it as needing clear lines.
Yes.
And boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like two opposite sides of the same coin.
It is. It is. And this tension is at the heart of Han's exploration of beauty.
Yeah.
He's not offering easy answers.
Right.
But he's prompting us to think deeply
right.
about how our experience of beauty, or our lack thereof, might be shaping our world in really profound ways.
It's a lot to take in, but I'm already starting to see the world differently.
It is thought-provoking, isn't it? And we've only just begun to scratch the surface here.
Okay, I'm hooked.
Good.
Let's keep going. What else does Han have in store for us?
Well, next he takes us on a journey through time, exploring how our experience of the past and future influences how we perceive beauty.
Sounds intriguing. Let's dive in.
So Han argues that our experience of time, like how we perceive the past and the future, it actually plays a huge role in how we perceive beauty.
Okay.
And he brings in these two fascinating thinkers to illustrate this point.
Okay.
Walter Benjamin and Marcel Proust.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Especially Benjamin.
Yeah.
I find his ideas about history and memory so intriguing.
Yeah, he's a great thinker to grapple with, that's for sure.
Yep.
So Benjamin, he was fascinated by the way beauty connects us to the past.
Okay.
And he uses this example from Plato's Symposium,
okay,
where the characters are all discussing the nature of love and beauty.
Yeah.
And they talk about how encountering beauty can evoke this feeling of remembrance.
Yeah.
Like we're recognizing something we've known all along,
Okay.
but I had forgotten.
So it's not just about seeing something pretty.
No, it's much deeper than that.
It's about that spark of recognition.
Right.
That connection to something beyond the present moment.
Exactly. Yeah. Benjamin believed that true beauty isn't just about, the immediate sensory experience. It's about the way it taps into this deeper sense of history and meaning. It's almost like beauty acts as a bridge between the past and the present.
And that brings us to Proust, right?
Yes.
His famous Madeline moment.
Right.
Where the taste of this simple cookie unlocks this flood of childhood memories.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful image of how these sensory experiences can transport us through time.
It's a perfect example of what Han is talking about.
Yeah.
Proust shows us how this seemingly ordinary object can become imbued with this extraordinary meaning through the power of memory. And for Proust, that feeling of timelessness, of past and present, collapsing into this single moment was deeply intertwined with beauty.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, though, if that kind of experience is harder to come by in our digital world where everything is so fast-paced.
I think so, too.
And fleeting.
That's precisely Han's point.
Yeah.
He worries that this constant stream of information and images that we encounter online, it's making it difficult to cultivate the kind of attentiveness and patience that's needed to truly appreciate beauty.
Yeah.
It's we're always rushing on to the next thing, the next click, the next notification.
So instead of lingering on a beautiful image or letting a piece of music kind of wash over us, we're just skimming the surface, constantly seeking that next hit of stimulation.
Exactly, yeah. We're addicted to the novelty,
the
the newness. And Han argues that this this constant state of distraction makes it really hard to experience that kind of deep contemplative engagement that beauty requires.
Right.
We're losing the ability to slow down, to savor, to let things really sink in and resonate with us on a deeper level.
It's like we're trading depth for speed.
Yes.
And in the process, we're losing something essential about how we experience the world,
right?
And maybe even ourselves.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it's a really profound loss, and Han connects this back to his overall argument about smoothness.
Okay.
He believes that this desire for these frictionless, instantly gratifying experiences is making us more superficial, less capable of appreciating the complexity and the nuance of true beauty.
It makes you wonder, if we're losing the ability to appreciate beauty, are we also losing the ability to create it?
That's a great question. And it takes us to another really crucial aspect of Han's argument, which is the idea that true beauty, it isn't just about passive appreciation.
Okay.
It's about this call to create.
So it's not just about looking at a beautiful painting.
Right.
It's about being inspired to paint ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah. Han, he brings in Plato's idea that encountering beauty should inspire us to generate in the beautiful.
Okay.
It's about that spark of creativity, that urge to bring something new into the world.
Okay.
And this applies not just to, art,
right,
but to all aspects of life.
Yeah.
Our relationships, our work, even our ethical actions.
It's like beauty is this catalyst.
Yes.
Pushing us to create.
Right.
To build, to make the world a more beautiful place in our own way.
Exactly. It's not just about consuming beauty, it's about participating in it.
Yeah. That's pretty inspiring.
It is. And Han, he takes this idea even deeper.
Okay.
By exploring Heidegger's view of beauty.
Heidegger.
Remember Heidegger?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He's not exactly light reading.
No.
But I'm game. What does Heidegger have to say about beauty?
Well, Heidegger, he saw beauty as the poetic name of being.
Okay.
He believed that it wasn't just about aesthetics, it was about this really profound connection to the very essence of existence.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack.
It is.
So for Heidegger, beauty isn't just about like pretty things.
No.
It's about a deeper understanding of existence itself.
Exactly.
It's a way of kind of like glimpsing the truth behind the veil of like everyday life.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay.
And this ties back to Han's point about the loss of beauty in the digital age.
Okay.
If we're constantly distracted, if we're constantly skimming the surface, we're missing out on those moments of deeper connection, those glimpses of truth that beauty can reveal.
It's like we're losing the ability to see the forest for the trees.
Yes.
Or in this case, the beauty for the endless stream of digital noise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Han worries that this loss of beauty, this inability to generate in the beautiful,
right,
might have like really far-reaching consequences for our individual lives, but also for society as a whole.
So what's the antidote? How do we reclaim this sense of beauty, this connection to something deeper?
That's where Han turns to the idea of love.
Okay.
And not just, like romantic love.
Right.
But this broader sense of love as commitment.
Okay.
Fidelity and a willingness to go beyond the superficial.
Okay.
He draws inspiration from Alain Badiou's Éloge de l'amour, his praise of love.
Okay, now this I'm really curious about.
Yeah.
What does love have to do with reclaiming beauty?
Well, Badiou, he sees love as this radical act in a world that often prioritizes, these fleeting experiences, instant gratification. He talks about how a chance encounter, a spark of attraction, it can lead to something much deeper and more enduring.
It's like saying that true love is this rebellion against the shallowness of modern life.
Yes, exactly.
A choice to stay.
Right.
To commit.
Yeah.
To build something lasting and meaningful.
Exactly. Yeah. And this commitment, this fidelity, this is what Han sees as essential for reclaiming beauty.
Okay.
It's about resisting the temptation to constantly chase the next new thing.
Right.
the next shiny object.
Yeah.
It's about choosing to go deeper, to invest our time and our attention in things that truly matter.
So are we saying that the key to reclaiming beauty is to cultivate a kind of love for the world around us?
Yeah.
A love that goes beyond the superficial and embraces the complex,
Yeah.
the challenging, the enduring.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think Han would wholeheartedly agree. He's suggesting that we need to approach beauty with the same kind of commitment and openness that we bring to a loving relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's about being present, attentive, and willing to see beyond the surface.
That's a powerful thought. But how do we actually put that into practice?
Right.
In a world that's constantly bombarding us with distractions.
Yeah.
How do we cultivate that kind of deep attention and appreciation?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? And it's one that Han explores in the final part of his book.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. Let's dive into the last part of this deep dive and see what answers Han has in store for us.
Yeah.
So we've gone through a lot with Han's argument about, smoothness and how it's really impacting how we experience beauty and how we might even be, losing that ability to create and appreciate real beauty.
Yeah, it's pretty sobering stuff.
It is.
But he doesn't just leave us there, right? And
right.
like completely hang.
He gives us some hope.
He does.
Yeah, what does he say?
Well, he believes that, even in this digital world that we live in, it's still possible to cultivate a deeper, more meaningful relationship with beauty.
Okay. That's good. That's good to hear. So what does he think we should do?
Well, he doesn't, advocate for like ditching our smartphone,
right,
or rejecting technology altogether.
So it's not about becoming a Luddite?
No, not at all. Han's argument is much more nuanced than that. He's asking us to be more mindful, more intentional about how we engage with the world around us.
So what does that look like practically?
Well, think about, your own digital habits.
Okay, yeah.
Do you ever find yourself just, scrolling endlessly through social media?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I catch myself and I don't even know what I'm doing.
And how do you feel after doing that?
Kind of numb, to be honest.
Yeah, and Han would say that's a sign, like we need to shake things up a bit.
Okay.
Maybe it's about, setting aside specific times to just like disconnect.
Okay.
To engage with art or nature without the distraction of our devices.
So like a digital detox.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But for the sake of beauty.
Exactly.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Or maybe it's about, being more selective in what we actually consume online.
Okay.
Instead of just, passively scrolling through this endless feed.
Right.
We could actively seek out, content that challenges us, that inspires us.
Yeah.
Or that connects us to something larger than ourselves.
So being more discerning.
Yeah.
Being more conscious of what we're actually letting into our minds and our hearts.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
What else does he suggest?
He also emphasizes the importance of slowing down.
Okay.
Cultivating this more contemplative approach to life.
Right.
He reminds us that true beauty, it often reveals itself, slowly, subtly.
It's like we need to retrain ourselves.
I think so, yeah.
To appreciate the details, the nuances, the things that might be, missed if we're just constantly rushing
from one thing to the next.
Yeah, exactly. It's about rediscovering that lost art of contemplation, of allowing ourselves to just, get lost in a piece of music, a work of art, or a moment of natural beauty. It's about resisting that urge to instantly analyze, to categorize, to share everything that we experience.
So it's about just allowing ourselves to be present.
Yeah.
To fully immerse ourselves in the experience of beauty.
Right.
Without feeling that need to to document or broadcast it to the world.
Exactly.
It's almost like a form of resistance.
Yes.
Against this constant pressure to perform and project a certain image online.
I think you've hit on something really important there.
Yeah.
Han is suggesting that reclaiming beauty is also about reclaiming our own authenticity.
Okay.
Our own unique way of being in the world.
It's about resisting the pressure to conform to the smooth, the homogenized aesthetic.
Right.
Of the digital age.
That really resonates with me.
Yeah.
You know, in a world where everything seems, filtered and curated.
Yeah.
It's easy to feel like we need to present this perfectly polished version of ourselves.
Yeah.
But maybe true beauty lies in embracing, our imperfections, our rough edges, the things that actually make us unique.
And maybe that's where the real power of beauty lies.
Okay.
Not in escaping from the world,
right,
but in transforming it.
Wow, that's a powerful thought. So if we can reclaim this deeper, more authentic experience of beauty, maybe we can also start to build a world that's less smooth, less superficial, and more attuned to the things that truly matter.
That's the hope, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And Han, he believes it all starts with awareness, with recognizing, the forces that are shaping our perceptions, our desires, our very sense of self.
So this deep dive into La Salvezza del Bello, it's been more than just a book review.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's been a call to action.
Absolutely. He's reminding us that we have a choice.
Right.
We can either, succumb to the smoothness of the digital age, or we can, actively resist it by cultivating a deeper, more meaningful relationship with beauty.
And that choice, that act of resistance might be the key to not only, saving beauty, but to saving ourselves.
Yeah, that's a profound way to put it. And it leaves us with a question for all of our listeners.
Okay, what's the question?
How will you reclaim beauty in your own life?
It's a question worth pondering for sure. Well, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
On this deep dive into La Salvezza del Bello.
Yeah.
It's been challenging.
It has.
It's been inspiring and ultimately hopeful.
Yes, definitely hopeful.
Exploration of one of the most fundamental aspects of human experience.
It really is.
And as always, we encourage you to keep seeking out that beauty that transforms you, that challenges you, that reminds you of what it truly means to be alive.